Artificial intelligence is going to take your job, and fast. The sooner that we come to terms with this fact, the more likely it is that it will be a beneficial influence on humanity rather than a destructive one. In this video, you'll gain a comprehensive understanding of the timeline, probability, and possible effects that AI job automation will have on society. And if you stick around until the end of this video, I'm even going to give you some concrete steps that we can take as a society in order to build a future that is still worth living in. We are at a crossroads as a species. It's not that job automation hasn't existed before, it has, but the type that we're experiencing now is very different than any time in our past. Whereas automation in the past resulted in an amplification of human labor, workers were simply able to transition to another field of work that wasn't manual labor but maybe cognitive labor. However, artificial intelligence software is different. It's replacing the very task that makes you human, that of being intelligent. And as a result, there may not be other jobs for people to transition to. The crossroads we find ourselves at is that one path leads to a jobpocalypse, a future where artificial intelligence software is capable of replacing the vast majority of cognitive labor that humans currently engage in, and it's not unfeasible to believe that artificial intelligence could embody a robotic system to replace even manual labor jobs. However, there is an alternative. You see, there is a path that we could follow which leads to a hyperabundance future, one in which artificial intelligence is capable of replacing the vast majority of jobs, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because the economic system which we've crafted is able to channel the reward for doing so towards the people whose jobs were automated away. Now, this is a very serious issue, and unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that we can do to slow it down. The pace of technological improvement follows an exponential growth curve, and really there's nothing that we can do as individuals to inhibit that growth. However, there are things that we can do as a society in order to shape an economic future which is still worth inhabiting. So in order to explore both of these futures, it makes sense to tell two parallel stories. I'm gonna paint for you a future following the jobpocalyptic curve and one that follows the hyperabundant curve, and we can explore what types of changes might lead to what types of outcomes and on what timeline. So let's start with the worst case scenario. Let's explore the jobpocalypse. What would happen if we made no substantive changes to our economic system and simply allowed artificial intelligence to continue on the pace that it is presently? Well, game theory is a mathematical or logical system that allows us to predict how individual actors will engage in a competitive system. There are a number of perverse incentives that exist. The primary one is the profit motive. Companies such as Google and Microsoft and Meta, they have responsibilities to their shareholders that this technology be used in order to maximize profits. There's very little that they can do to avoid this, even with all the conscience in the world. If you had a CEO, for example, at Google who said it's best to deviate from this path because it's not good for humanity, very rapidly that CEO would simply be replaced with one who maximizes profits. It's quite fair to assume that following this game theoretic logic that artificial intelligence would be used to automate as many jobs as possible in order to gain the economic benefit of doing so, and then consolidate that wealth to the ownership class of artificially intelligent software. But where does that leave us, the vast majority of humans who are not in the ownership class? As it stands now, the primary method that the regular average person has to engage with an economic model is through their labor. It's how we gain the resources which we require to go on surviving. If a large portion of the population is decoupled from that economic model, I'm afraid that the inevitable effect would be mass unemployment and rampant homelessness. To be fair, there are a number of forces in capitalism that may mitigate or slow down this effect, such as deflationary pressures. As the number of jobs are replaced by humans, the cost of doing business does decrease, and theoretically that would decrease the cost of goods and services. However, in the last few years, we've kind of seen a decoupling of that supply and demand model. During the coronavirus pandemic, a great many companies engaged in price gouging. One of the biggest companies to come out of that was BlackRock, one of the largest companies on the planet Earth at the moment, and they own insane amounts of real estate. You would think that they would reach a certain point where if they owned enough real estate, they would be forced by this economic model to reduce the price of housing, but in fact, they've done the opposite. Because they own so much, they can price fix an entire market, and that's exactly what they do. Something critical has changed in the Western capitalist model over the past few years, where the amount of production no longer is reflected in the wages or availability of goods for the regular working person. It's entirely possible that this trend somehow reverses itself, but I can't envision a reason for that. It's just as likely that these companies continue on the path of maximizing profits at all expenses, and they're just slightly better at it with artificial intelligence. So the probability of this future coming to pass is quite high. At the present moment, there is no game theoretical advantage to not maximizing profits with this technology, and unfortunately that is often at the expense of every other individual in the system. Many researchers are referring to this as the multipolar trap. There's a great many actors in this game theoretic system, all of which operating under a sort of perverse incentive that forces them to continue on a path which doesn't benefit the whole, but they can't really deviate from that strategy without harming that individual. So the potential effects of this job-apocalyptic future is pretty grim, honestly. There surely will be a point where there's simply so many people unemployed and unable to gain the resources they require to go on living that we sort of reach a tipping point where, as a society, we can no longer sustain in this model. And the result of that will likely be massive social disruption, political disruption. However, the entities which should be in place to prevent this type of behavior, i.e. the government and regulatory bodies, already are suffering from a form of regulatory capture. It's quite unlikely that that problem will get better, because as these companies gain more and more power, their power to influence the political system also increases. So unless they act right now, it's increasingly unlikely that any regulation they put in place will have any effect at all. And unfortunately, as you may well know, governments are notorious for moving slow. It seems that the only limiting factor to how dystopic that future can get is the empathy of a very, very small portion of the population whose economic reward for accelerating this dystopia has led to unfathomable wealth and luxury for them. It's pretty unlikely that they're going to have a moment of empathetic clarity that changes their entire life's path. And in terms of a timeline, it's increasingly hard to guess. As it stands right now, artificially intelligent software is capable of replacing up to half of all jobs as soon as the year 2050. Now, that is based solely on current models, assuming a zero rate of improvement over time. However, we know that AI software is in fact improving, and at a pretty frightening pace. At a maximum, we know that it will be 2050. However, it could be much, much sooner. The only factor that will mitigate this isn't the speed at which AI software improves, but rather the pace at which humans can integrate this software into the current economic model. Here's the thing. As humans, we all suffer from normalcy bias, which is the assumption that tomorrow will look roughly the same as yesterday. However, when you live in a moment of technological advancement that's growing at an exponential pace, that's no longer functional. The cognitive dissonance that you experience when you hear this dystopic future described may be so overwhelming that you simply throw your hands up in the air and say, no human will ever allow this to occur. The CEOs, the politicians, they'll all come to their senses at some point and realize that they have to change this future. But I'm telling you that they won't. Even if they did, they would be replaced very quickly. There are perverse incentives that exist which cannot allow that to occur. And so unless we make some substantive change right now, our future for the vast majority of people is going to be worse than you could imagine. So now that we've explored one possibility, that of the AI job apocalypse, it's now time that we explore AI hyperabundance. Now, as dark as the job-apocalyptic future was, the AI hyperabundance is equally as amazing. Let's say that this video reaches millions of people, and it's convincing enough to sway the opinions of a critical mass of individuals to take action right now while we still can in order to build an economic system which is able to integrate artificial intelligence in a beneficial way into society. The most obvious example might be some form of wealth redistribution, such as a universal basic income, where the profit that is derived from artificial intelligence automating jobs is somehow channeled back towards the individuals whose jobs were automated away. The result of which would be decreasing scarcity of goods and services such as food, water, healthcare, and individuals would no longer have to engage in labor in order to survive. See, the current economic system is kind of a modified form of slavery in a way. You're not forced to work, but if you don't, you will die. It's that threat of death that forces us to continue on working, whether we want to or not. I think that many individuals place far too much value on their occupation. It's kind of baked into our social system that we ought to be hard workers and we ought to be proud of our professions because it defines us as individuals. But actually, I think that that's pretty unhealthy. You don't need to define yourself by your jobs, and there's plenty of other cultures which don't define themselves by their occupation. What if, at the rate that AI job automation increased, the number of people who need to continue working out of necessity decreases? The result would be a whole lot more spare time to pursue the goals that actually bring us true meaning and values, such as spending more time outdoors, which is shown to improve people's quality of life, or spending more quality time with family and close friends, which in turn also increases happiness. All the while, our quality of living steadily increases, and at a certain point, the access to resources will just be sort of a non-issue, kind of like in Star Trek, right? Where technology has improved to the point where nobody really has any want for anything in particular except for higher goals, such as increasing knowledge and understanding of the universe that we live in. Just imagine a future where the most scarce commodity is scarcity itself, in the sense that we don't have to grind away every day at a job that we hate just to gain the resources that we require to go on living. What if instead we were able to grapple with more complicated questions, pursuing higher education, philosophy, religion, or some form of spirituality, asking the most important questions that humans have asked? I think that humans, in a way, naturally seek out some form of struggle, some form of hardship that they can then overcome. And by focusing all of that natural tendency towards an occupation, it's massively beneficial for those taking advantage of their labor, but for the individual, it's not really all that fulfilling. Just imagine if you could channel all of that same energy to profoundly meaningful goals. I think that the effect as a whole on society would be incredibly enlightening. In terms of a probability for this future, honestly, it's really hard to know. There are a lot of pitfalls along the way that might inhibit us from reaching this sort of utopia, not the least of which is that it requires almost an entire overhaul of the entire economic system. But it's also critical that we do so. Artificial intelligence is kind of like a non-specific amplifier in a way. It's incredibly powerful at achieving whatever task you set it to, such that it sort of leads to a binary future. It's kind of hard to imagine anybody programming an AI software to achieve an optimal amount of inequality. It's quite likely that it will either be programmed to maximize profits for a very small portion of the population or maximize well-being for as many people as possible, and it's really hard to imagine anywhere in between these two binary states. And in terms of a timeline, it's also kind of hard to imagine. We know that there are some critical points in the timeline that must be achieved in order to ensure this utopic future. For example, government regulation, in whatever form it takes, has to happen before the point where these models reach parity. At the point where the majority of jobs have already been automated away, it just leads to too much wealth and power consolidation, and things like regulatory capture and just honestly grift inhibits any meaningful regulation in this space. But assuming we are successful, it will follow the same curve as AI job automation, which, based on present models, is about half the population being automated away by the year 2050. Now, once again, assuming a zero rate of improvement in any of the technology, so somewhere between now and that date. And in terms of potential effects on humanity, well, they're all pretty positive in a way. I think that there will be some form of meaning crisis that is a result. People struggling to find purpose in their life, but those are pretty easy to solve. Things such as family and education and spirituality, as well as just spending more time in nature, will quite likely solve those problems simply by improving the quality of life of individuals. So that kind of brings us to the present moment. We have explored both potential futures, the dystopic and utopic, and it brings us back to here. Right now, the inflection point. The amount of influence that we as individuals have in shaping this future decreases by the day. The more that wealth and influence is consolidated to fewer and fewer companies, such as Google and Meta, the more influence on the economic system they have and the less that we do. This is only set to increase as more and more jobs are automated away. Whether we like it or not, our political model is inherently tied to our economic system. Probably the most powerful model that we have for individual workers exerting their will upon a society is labor unions. But where will labor unions be when there are no laborers to be had? If I've convinced you in any way that either of these models are a possibility, you are highly incentivized to take as much action right now as you can in order to influence a more positive future. If we wait until it's too late, our influence will be nil. I'm not going to try to tell you that I have all the answers, and I know that UBI is the answer for moving forward, or a reverse wealth tax. I don't know for sure, but I do know for sure that this change is inevitable, and unless we act now, we'll simply be at the mercy of those few individuals in charge and the game theoretic model as it stands now. Usually this is the point in a YouTube video where I ask you to like this video and subscribe to the channel, but I don't want to do that. I want to ask you to do something to benefit yourself and humanity as a whole. There are some tangible things that you can do to influence this future, the easiest of which is to stop using Bing Chat and Facebook AI. Instead, start using companies like Anthropic's artificial intelligence software, which honestly is like 98% as good as Bing Chat, but their focus is on AI safety, and the motivation of that company is to further the goals of humanity as a whole, rather than the profit motives of the individuals involved. Additionally, we need to start putting pressure on our governments right now in order to enact AI safety policies that prevent the most dystopic futures from becoming a possibility, as well as crafting a new economic system that can create a future where there's abundance shared by all, rather than just a minuscule percentage of the population that's in the ownership class. I am convinced that the only thing that can steer humanity towards a brighter future is a massive mobilization from the ground up, forcing those in power to prioritize the needs of as many people as possible. I'm not going to tell you that I have all the answers. I almost certainly don't. But I have seen the problem, and now you have too, and that puts a responsibility on you as an individual to now take action. Because if you don't do anything, that is tacit support for the dystopia which you will then own. And even if the current economic system has you in a position where you feel like you don't have any influence at all in order to shape the future, what you can do for free, it costs nothing, is learn as much as you can about this technology as soon as you can. In an age defined by intelligence, knowledge is power.